What is up, guys? Welcome to Thursday. What day is it? Thursday night hobby stream. Welcome everyone to the stream. Give me a shout out in chat if you guys are gonna hang out with me tonight. I'm gonna be working on some orcs. In case Busy hasn't gone. I have basically what I'm gonna be doing today. I have a little Macari, which I'm gonna bang off really quick. So I think I should be able to get him done. He's like a single model. And then I'm gonna be starting on some orc dreadnoughts I have, which I just together. Hopefully kind of get those get some progress on those. So we'll be hanging out. Bobo, how's it going, man? Welcome to the chat. Let me just see here. How's the music levels? I can never tell, so hopefully it's not too loud. Let me just. There we go. Cool. Hey Corbs, how's it going, man? Welcome to the chat. Alright, let's get going here. So, he doesn't look like much right now. I've basically just base coded him green. This is I don't really understand this model in general. But I'm gonna basically be. I think I can finish them in one session, so that's gonna be the goal. If you guys didn't see, I posted the Eldar Warlock that I was working on last stream on my Instagram, so you guys can check that out. It's all finished, and on my Twitter as well. And then also, yeah, so just go check it out. It was really fun to paint. I'm definitely gonna get back to some more Eldar on stream next week, but for now, my priorities are working on some orcs for the next little while. The Eldar was just like a nice, fun break from kind of other things that I've been doing, because I've been painting. Yeah, sometimes I like to just paint a single model like that just to have a break. It's good. It's good to kind of go that way just to help keep the motivation. I'm almost better than COVID. Thanks everyone that sent me their well wishes. I got lots of messages telling me to feel better, so I appreciate everyone that was like reached out and said to get better. I'm still not 100%. I still have a bit of a cough, and I've been like spitting up like basically not purple, sorry, like yellow snot for almost 8 days now, which is kind of gross. But that's the only like the little bit of cough and a little bit of like mucus is basically all I have left, and it's like lingering, like it won't go away, which is kind of annoying. But I'm sure I think maybe another day or two and it should be gone. But energy levels are back, which is good. Appetite's back, although not 100%. One of the big things that I realized that like hit me the most was like I lost my appetite. Not like I know a lot of people like lost their sense of taste and stuff, but I actually like literally lost my appetite. Like I'm usually a very hungry person, and I like to eat, and I was surprised by like how little I wanted to eat while I was like sick with COVID. It was shocking. So maybe if I want to lose weight in the future, I'll just go get myself COVID. Yeah, it's been so I assume I caught it on New Year's at a New Year's party, and I didn't feel symptoms. So New Year's was on Friday night, I think, or on Saturday night, and I don't think no, New Year's was on Saturday or Friday night, and I didn't feel symptoms till Tuesday. Tuesday is when I started getting sick, and then I finally started to feel better like last Saturday. So this Friday will be about yeah, I guess about 2 weeks probably since I caught it originally. So I haven't barely even left my house. I've like one thing I will say though that I've enjoyed about COVID, and I know this will sound awful, I've never slept so well. Like I have really bad insomnia for the most part. I don't necessarily sleep I don't sleep very deeply, and also I don't sleep very like I can fall asleep, but I can't stay asleep. So I often wake up quite a bit during the night. In any one particular night, I will wake up quite a few times. And one thing with COVID is like literally this morning, I don't know if it's like my body's still tired. I didn't get out of bed till 9:30 a.m., which for someone that's like not really working and that's like basically like, and I didn't go to sleep last night too late, but basically that's really late for me. Like, I'm someone that usually gets up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, almost by like I can't sleep in. I get up every morning very early, so it's quite weird having this situation where I was basically yeah, I was like I was getting up so sleeping so late, but I enjoyed it. So with this Macari, I don't know if you guys saw the gas goal. I finished the gas goal for this part of this project last week. Show you guys what that looks like. So gas goal is all done. One thing with the orcs is this: I'm keeping their skin a little bit darker green, but for Macari, you can see full model there behind. The full for Macari, I'm gonna be doing, because he's the grot, I'm gonna be doing his skin a little bit paler. So instead of going up with like a yellow, which is highlighting the green with the yellow, which is definitely more saturated, I'm gonna be highlighting it with like a desaturated, like a pale beige, and that's gonna give the green a lot more of a kind of pastel color, and that's what I want. I want the grots to be, yeah. I honestly like, oh, you want to see the finished Eldar? Yeah, I can grab it. One sec. So that is, I don't know why I keep putting on my headphones. Like I need to put my headphones on to hear you guys, because it's just the music playing in my headphones. But here is the finished Eldar. So I painted that mostly on stream last week. Pretty happy with how it turned out. One thing I might do though, and this is something I realized afterwards, is I kind of did the blade backwards. So I was kind of going for like a fiery blade, but what and like kind of like hot magma blade, but I realized that it should actually be backwards, right? Like the hot whitest part should be on the inside, and then the outside should be black. So I have here a Farseer that I put together yesterday, and then I have 2 more of these guys. I got this guy as well. I'm gonna test that method on this guy first, and if I like how it turned out, I will switch this one. I don't want to have to change it if I don't need to, but yeah. So I was really happy with how it turned out. But I will be painting some more Eldar on stream. My goal. So here's the goal, guys. I own these 5 Eldar models. So the one you just saw painted, and then these 5 models. This is all I own for my Eldar right now. So a Farseer, an old metal Eldrad, a plastic Farseer, and then another Warlock. I want to paint all 4 of these Eldar models before I buy any more Eldar. So the goal is going to be that this is going to be an army project where I paint like 1 or 2 models at a time, and I only buy once I finish caught up with everything. I don't want to be in a situation where I have a big pile of stuff. I actually have talked myself out of buying the new set that's just getting released. I talked myself out of buying it, because I knew that if I bought it, I would have all this chaos in Eldar and I'd get discouraged. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna paint these characters. That's the goal. And then I'm gonna basically pick up some of the other new plastics. Like I'll probably pick up some of the other plastic characters, maybe an Autark. Yeah. I don't want to end up with a big pile of shame here. I just want to do one thing at a time. So yeah, so that's kind of the current projects, I guess. A few other things, guys. I've set my follower goal up on Twitch. I'm at 581 followers on Twitch. I want to hit 600 by the end of the month. So if you guys are checking us out on YouTube or just tuning into the channel brand new, please make sure to give the channel a follow. And then my other goal is I'm at 1,900 subscriptions on YouTube, so I'm gonna try to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube as well. So the best way you can help me out with that, guys, is just share the stream, retweet it. I do post the stream on my Instagram. I don't know why I'm painting his shoe green. It's clearly not. He's got a boot there. I'm painting it green. Best way you guys can help out the channel is by just like sharing it on your like social media or whatever when you're watching. And yeah, like leaving likes and comments on YouTube, that helps the algorithm, I think. If you guys have any ever questions or things that you want for me to work on, I do have a Discord. The link for that is in the show notes on YouTube, or you can also just check out the links in my Twitch channel. I think there's a link tree. Where can you find it? Yeah, just check out the YouTube channel, and then also there should be links to the Discord there. And if you guys ever want specific content, like if you want to see something, like hey Jim, can you do some, like, I'd love to see how you would blend a certain thing, or if you guys have technique questions, or if you just want to just hang out and share your work with, I think we're at about 100 people in the Discord right now. Share your work with other hobbyists. I also post most of like channel updates as far as like when I'm going live. I always post on the Discord. So for the most up-to-date information, guys, just make sure to check out the Discord. It's not like one of those Discords where like you have to mute because there's a lot going on. It's mostly just informative, but there's definitely some conversation and stuff like that happening in there. But it's fairly chill. It's so I know a lot of people, like, if you're like me, you have like way too many Discords already, and you're like, no more Discords. I started like leaving a lot of the servers that I was part of that I wasn't like actively involved in because it was just like getting ridiculous. So I totally understand that if you don't want to join, add another Discord to your already probably long list. But yeah, if we do that, that'd be helpful. And also in there, feel free to add in suggestions for like anything you guys want to see on the show, whether it's how-tos or tutorials or just questions. Guests, if you ever want to see guests on. I did talk to David Koska, my co-host from Best Overall. I think we're gonna get up a painting stream set up together pretty soon, so you should see him around these parts pretty soon. But that's lucky of you, back on, that you haven't gotten sick. I was actually surprised that like how sick I got, given that I'm vaccinated. I thought, like, because when the first time I had COVID, it was very, very mild. Like literally, like I was like, I felt a little bit tired for a day, and I had a little bit of fever for like one day. But this one was like, this hit me much harder than that. So but I don't know. My mom is hilarious. She's like, I told her I was pretty sick. She's like, do you want me to take you to the hospital? I'm like, no, I'm not that sick. Like, not feeling well. It's like, this is the complete mother's reaction, is like instantly wants to take me to the hospital, even though I'm like completely fine, basically. So what else? Yeah, so that's gonna be working on the Eldar, and that should be kind of up and coming in the next little while. Some Eldar projects. A few people have asked me if I'm gonna be playing them competitively. Eventually, yeah. Based on where we're at this year with COVID, I don't see me even playing a ton of events this year. They're already like canceling like events that they like scheduled this year locally because of like last year, like they're like, oh, we're not gonna have an event because COVID. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will give you my thoughts. I'm not gonna do reviews. Honestly, guys, like if you want to review, go read Goonhammer or one of the 1,000 other YouTubers. I'll definitely give you my thoughts. I'm not gonna do like a full review or anything like that. It's just not really my interest, I guess. But I'll see if I can sneak onto someone else's YouTube show. Like maybe I'll talk to Rob and see if I can come on for like Spice Center or something like that for when the book comes out. Sorry, it's stuck. Lingering cough still. Yeah, I'm excited for Eldar. Well, our Eldar are always crazy strong, to be fair. And like, I honestly am just excited to paint them. I don't even care like if the rules aren't amazing. Yeah, it'll be nice if their rules are good too, but like I don't want to be one of those people that's like only playing them because their rules are good. I'm sure they will be good though. I don't remember any edition where, I mean, 9th edition so far Eldar have not been good, but like they haven't had their book, right? And obviously during the tail end of 8th, they started to kind of lose power. But we all remember how they started in 8th. They were quite strong, especially Ynnari. And from what I understand, Ynnari and Harlequins are in the book. So, oh no, sorry. Ynnari's in the book, but not Harlequins. I don't know why I said Harlequins. But Ynnari's in the book. So it's like a combined book of Ynnari as well. It's kind of cool, I guess. I am excited to paint the Incarn, since it's such a cool model. Corsairs are those the dinosaur riding guys? Or no, those are those Exodites? What are the dinosaur guys? Exodites? I'm not really thinking of anything, man. I think in my head for some reason I was confusing Ynnari and Harlequins, but yeah. So Ynnari's in the book, I'm almost 100% sure, but Harlequins I think are not. And also, I don't know if I was dreaming, but I saw leaked pictures of faction secondaries for chapter approved. I don't know. I was like on my phone this morning, like really early, and I swear I saw something like that. But then I was like, I fell back asleep. I don't know if I dreamt it. Okay, maybe I didn't dream it. Let me check it out. Yeah, that would be a cool army. An Exodite army. Maybe I will do this. Turn this army into Exodites. Let's see here. Modern Warhammer competitive. We got a new faction secondaries in White Dwarf. Oh yeah, hey, I have a. Guess who has a subscription to White Dwarf? You guys want to see? I have literally like. See here. I guess these guys are not getting books anytime soon. I like the demon one though. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's weird how these would. So I do have a subscription to White Dwarf. True story. I got it for this year. I have 4 issues. I've only opened 1. The rest are still in the shrink wrap. Like that's literally how like little I've like read about White Dwarf. I'm not a very good White Dwarf reader, I guess. Turns out. But yeah. So we'll see. So I guess it seems like based on the way the things are coming out currently, it seems like it'll be Tau, then Eldar, and then I assume Chaos Space Marines after Eldar at some point. But definitely it seems like Eldar will be before Chaos Space Marines because they've been already previewing some Eldar models. And I guess we're gonna see some of the new Aspect Warriors next week. I did notice browsing the Eldar range on Games Workshop that Howling Banshees were not Howling Banshees, sorry. Striking Swooping Hawks were out of stock. So I think those are still fine casts. I think the only correct me if I'm wrong, but the only Aspect Warriors that are in plastic are Howling Banshees, right? Everything else is still resin. Is that correct for Anyone know that? Oh crap. Yeah. These are cool. I guess I'll get these. But oh yeah, sorry. As I was saying, I don't think I'm going to be playing competitively that much this year. Sadly, my 3-year reign as Adepticon 40k champion will soon be coming to an end with because I won Adepticon 40k in 2019, I think, and there hasn't been an Adepticon since then because of COVID. So I'm always joking that I'm the reigning 40k champ for Adepticon, but it looks like this year it's finally happening. So my 3-year reign as a 40k champion will be coming to an end finally. I will not be going to Adepticon, if those of you guys wondering. Right now, just traveling out of Canada is still a very huge pain in the ass, and I just don't really have a huge interest in like spending that kind of money for Warhammer stuff. I'd much rather like be painting and buying models than traveling. And then just given the state of the game, and I've mentioned this a few times, I'm not in a place where I want to be playing a ton right now. And it's just really hard to play games like our 40k league that I literally started a local 40k league for BC, and a lot of our players are not able to play games, and we've postponed basically the league. So which is unfortunate. Right here. Doing some very rough base coating right now. Sometimes what I like to do is like when I'm painting a model, even though I like to kind of, especially really small models, I like to base coat all the areas kind of first in their core color. And that way it's almost like blocking them in. That way I kind of get a sense of what the model's going to look like. And it just gives me, it's almost like a color by numbers. And then I go through and I do all like my shading and highlighting and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, just so that, because like I don't know, this is like a one-off model, so I don't necessarily know what I'm gonna paint every surface, right now, or like I don't have a guide on like what every surface is gonna be. So rather than painting like the robe and then going in like with red, right, which I'm doing, and then later figuring out, oh, there's other things I want to paint with red, and like going through that process later. What I do is I'll kind of base coat every area in like the core color, and then I'll go in afterwards, and then once everything's kind of base coated, it kind of gives me a guide, and I can kind of work everything up from there. Plus also, because I'm just base coating, I can be a little bit quicker with it, and if I do get a little bit of spillover, it's not a big deal because these are just the base coat. So when I go back and do my highlights and shading and stuff, I can fix any of those mistakes. So it's like an easy way to kind of define the model, I guess, if that makes sense. All right, what else do I want red here? That's all gonna be brown and black. Obviously, I need to wait for that to dry before doing more red there. Okay. He's standing on a guardsman helmet. Cute. So I'm gonna do those banner poles will be in. Let me check the box art because I match it. Guys, I watched Eternals yesterday. Man, that movie's fucking awful. That's probably the worst Marvel movie I've ever watched. I didn't care about any of the characters. The plot was like, I don't know. I just like, yeah, it was not like the cool thing was about it was like it gives you some like lore on like the larger I guess like I don't even know how to describe it. The larger like Marvel universe stuff, like it gives you some like lore information, which was cool. But in general, it was like not very good. Here. I didn't really like the characters. Richard Madden's character was like super stupid and like over the top. And then all the other characters were kind of annoying and like whiny. I don't know. And then like half of them just die like really quick. I don't know. Everyone, like none of the characters I really connected with. They all just were kind of like annoying and whiny for like being super powered heroes. Back. I don't know. It was, I mean, yeah, sure, it's pretty. And like the actual like Celestials part is cool because like that's a cool part of like the Marvel lore. But as far as like a good Marvel movie where I care, like it just, yeah, it wasn't it. Back. I don't know if you guys have watched it. I also have I mean, I watched Spider-Man. I enjoyed the new Spider-Man, but like I kind of knew everything. I don't know if I'm getting like I'm growing out of it. Like I've been watching all the Marvel movies. I watched Venom, like all that stuff. I don't know if like I'm less interested. Like I still watch them. Like me and my buddy Andrew, one of my best friends, we have this thing where like we go to all the movies. Like we've been watching the Marvel movies since Iron Man together. And so now anytime there's a Marvel movie, we're like, hey, like so and so's coming out. One of us will get tickets. We just go together. It's like kind of like a thing that we have. But like more and more, I'm feeling like I just don't care that much. Also, speaking of awful things, guys, I'm trying really hard to like the Book of Boba Fett. It's not very good. I don't know if you guys have watched the Book of Boba Fett, but like the second episode was okay, but like I don't know if it's like the production value. Well, some of it is production value and kind of like just set design. Some of it feels like some of the sets feel and like the characters feel really out of place. Like the last episode, there's literally like Power Rangers, but and then like there's the story isn't good. Like there's some good parts to the story. For instance, like, and I'm gonna give spoilers here, so if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, tune the fuck off. Yeah, like the Bubba's like flashbacks, all the flashback stuff is cool because it's like interesting and it kind of gives you some yeah, I don't know. This is my point. So just a perfect example, Kambobo, is like for all of that time up until he took over Jabba's palace, he had no Bacta tank. Now all of a sudden he's like jacked in the Bacta tank 24/7. So why is he such a like Bacta tank fiend, you know? The other thing is like, what is his objective? He was such a badass in Mandalorian. Like he just came in and just killed all these people. And now he's like this like soft, and he makes decisions that make no sense. Like why would he give, in the last episode, he gives a bunch of like random street kids jobs that he's never met or does know nothing about. He just like walks up to them and he's like, oh, you guys are kind of lippy. Here's some jobs in my palace. I'm gonna trust you with my life. Like who are these kids? And they're supposed to be poor, but they have fucking like Vespa. They have like Vespas, like speeders, right? Like they don't look like they're from Tatooine. They look like they're from like fucking Naboo. You know what I'm saying? The thing I like about it, and this is like, I love Star Wars. Like, I have a Yoda poster. I have Star Wars tattoos on my arm. Like, I like Star Wars. The thing I like about Book of Boba Fett, and this is like the one part, is like, it's Star Wars, which means there's parts of it and there's like lore in the Star Wars universe that I learn about, and I enjoy that. Like, I enjoy learning more about the different crime syndicates. I enjoy learning about like Rancors and how they like bond to people. And I could give you a really good example. In Book of Boba Fett, episode 3, this is the cool part about where the background can really like change how you view Star Wars as a whole. There's a part where they basically explain, they're like, Rancors, it's kind of like a stupid thing when you think about it. I'm like, why would they do that? But Rancors apparently bond with like humans, their first human that they see as babies, right? They bond like almost like they attach to them, right? And that's cool in and of itself, because I didn't know that. That's like a new lore piece. But what it also does is when you go watch Return of the Jedi now, and that like fat dude is like crying when the Rancor dies, it like changes how you view that scene, because you realize that that was the human that was bonded to the Rancor. And that's why that human, that the trainer, is so upset about it. And like, that's a cool part of it, right? That's cool that it like changes a little bit about something that you've already seen. That's like that scene from Return of the Jedi, like it kind of changes the context of that, and you're like, oh, I see. It's not just like a fat guy that's upset. You understand that they had this bond, this connection, and now that's really cool. Now, like the way that they're able to do that, that's really cool. What's not cool is like bad storytelling. What's not cool is like poor writing, right? And it definitely suffers from a lot of that. And like, I don't know if it's like, there's 4 episodes left. I don't know if this is going to be like just like a compact thing, or if it's like going to be something where there's going to be like season 2 or season 3. I'm not sure because they haven't really announced it. But like so far, I would rate it like I hope the Obi-Wan series is better, because I've been looking forward to Obi-Wan forever. And if this is the quality of writing in the Obi-Wan series, I'm going to be very disappointed. Things just seem to happen randomly for no particular reason. Kemba, I'm not sure about the so the Wookiee, he's actually from the comics. He's like a character from the comics. But like, yeah, perfect example is like, how does this Boba Fett has Fennec Shan, 2 Gamorrean guards. He's got this protocol droid. He's got this street gang of like stupid kids he just hired, and somehow and he's in Jabba's palace, which basically has a giant, like in Return of the Jedi, C-3PO and R2-D2 literally have to go knock on this big door to get into Jabba's palace, right? But somehow this giant 18-foot Wookiee sneaks in while Boba Fett is vulnerable in the bacta tank. You think that would be the time where he would have a guard posted, given all the death threats against him. But somehow during that scene, this giant Wookiee is able to just sneak in. Like, what's the point of all of that security and all that stuff if like the Wookiee, like it would be one thing if like the Wookiee like fought his way in, that would have been cool, or like something like that. But instead, and then he just lets him go at the end. It's like, okay. I don't mind the hut interaction because like I like the huts. Like huts are cool and like they're kind of, but it's like I wonder, and this is the other part that's silly. So they take this fucking floaty thing with the huts out to Jabba's palace. How far are they walking with that thing? Like, I understand like when they're in the city, they're like getting carried around in this thing, but like, do they have a ship close by and they come off that and then they only like take that thing the last 20 feet? Because like, I assume these slaves didn't carry the huts across the Dune Sea and like the desert and all that stuff. Like, they must have been pretty close by, right? Like, yeah. So just like stuff like that, it really like, it kind of ruins, I guess it ruins a little bit of it for me. Like me wanting to like it, but when the writing's really bad, it's really hard to like. Another like really silly thing is like the mayor. So like the mayor is, supposed to be this big important dude that has all these connections. He runs the city, but he never hires guards. And every time Boba Fett just walks right into his little thing, and he has no security except this like incompetent like Twi'lek dude. Like, why don't you have a single piece of security at your, like, if that's how easy it is to just kill the mayor, you'd think he'd be dead already, right? We're talking about Mos Espa, which is, and Tatooine, which is supposed to be like run by crime lords, right? Apparently it's not. It's like it's supposed to be lawless. It's like in the Outer Rim. It's in like the shitty parts of the galaxy. Like, people are like, violence is probably the norm there, and like, but like people just walk around and into like the mayor's shop like it's just a fucking kebab shop, and roll into his office, and then the Twi'lek guy, like, dude, we know where you work. Where are you going? Like, you're gonna get in a speeder. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get in a speeder, run around the city like fucking Back to the Future, right? I'm surprised he just didn't run into a bantha manure like Biff Tannen from fucking Back to the Future. You're gonna speed around the city, crash in this stupid chase scene, but then like, what do you, dude? It's only Thursday. Don't you have to go to work tomorrow? We're gonna know where you are. Like, it's not like you're flying to the spaceport and you're escaping and you're never coming back. You literally work for the mayor. So like, where does he think he's escaping to? Like, we know that you ran. We'll just come back tomorrow because we know where you're gonna be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the chase doesn't even make sense why he would run. Like, it's not that the chase scene was bad, but why would he even run? Like, what is he hoping to achieve by that? Right? To get off planet forever? And then in the end, he answers the questions anyways. Like, it's just, yeah. I don't love the writing. And yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts on it, I guess. We'll see. Like, here's the thing with limited series like this, I always like to judge them on the final, I guess, product. So I'm gonna reserve like final judgment until I look at the series as a whole. But for me, it's not off to a great start. I think the pacing of like how they're actually telling the story is a little bit off. Like, the first episode should have been, in my perspective, all of the Sand People stuff, like before he comes back, should have just been in the first episode. That should have been like what the first episode is. And then at the end of that episode, it kind of catches you up with, say, like him arriving back to Tatooine or whatever. Tatooine, or however he says it. So that's kind of, I don't know. It just feels like some of the story plots, the characters are not acting believable. They're not acting like I thought they would act, right? Boba Fett doesn't act like one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy. The guy that was smart enough to outsmart Han Solo and knew exactly where he was going to go in Empire Strikes Back. All of a sudden, he's like so dumb that like he gives a bunch of street rats. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Bunch of street rats like access to his palace and like full security and stuff. Like, yeah, I just not loving it, guys. Not loving it. I want to like it though. See, that's the thing. That's my problem, is as a Star Wars fan, I want to like it. It's just really hard to. I'm not one of those fans that like just like, and again, the things I like about it is like how it's like expanding on, like, I'm learning some lore bits about like Star Wars as a whole. So that's cool. But other than that, so far it's a bit of a dud. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, so far Disney Plus, like, I don't know, like between Eternals and Book of Boba Fett, I haven't loved it. I enjoyed Hawkeye. I watched Hawkeye. I did enjoy it. I didn't actually like Haley Steinfeld for the first little bit. I thought she was like super annoying, but she grew on me. I'm definitely concerned now, given like the quality of Hawkeye. I'm concerned about the book Obi-Wan series. I just wish they would get away from like like my biggest thing with Star Wars and the kind of what they've done with Star Wars is like I wish they would get away from like I wish they would grow the universe. Like I don't really care to learn more about like Yoda, baby young Yoda, or like I mean I'm excited for Obi-Wan, but like I don't want to know about Boba Fett. I want to learn about like other things that are happening in the galaxy, like whole new stories. Like they have the Andor series coming. They have like a bunch of other stuff coming, and it's like, can we learn about like something new? Like, or does it always have to be like prequels and requels and retellings and like reimaginings and stuff like that, you know? It just feels a little bit derivative and like repetitive. Personally. I don't know about you guys, but let me know your thoughts on Book Boba Fett. Yeah, that's not true, man. Succession is Speedy. I know you say poor writing is status quo. Succession is like, for example, of like that show is like amazing. I love that show. That's like great writing, right? Like, there's been some shows where like the writing's been like really good. There's definitely still good writing out there. I know. But the thing is, like, even with Mandalorian, and this is the thing, I actually really enjoyed Mandalorian, and they're made by the same people, so I'm like, why did their writing go so shit all of a sudden? You know? Like, it's not like it's a whole different team. It's literally the same people that wrote, it's like Filoni and Favreau, right? Everyone is hailing them as like the saviors of Star Wars, but it's like, I don't know. Mandalorian's pretty bad, guys. I don't know, man. I guess with Mandalorian, like, I didn't have expectations for the character, so that's different. With Book of Boba Fett, it's like I know who Boba Fett is, right? Or like there's ideas about who he is. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm never wrong, guys. Come on. But yeah, so that was my Eternal / Book of Boba Fett review, I guess. There's not much good on TV these days. I mean, after Witcher was really, I enjoyed Witcher, the season 2. That was like the other thing I like binged, I guess. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I'm enjoying it, and that's from someone that's like played the games and stuff. I haven't read the books. I tried reading the first book, but it's definitely you can definitely tell it's like written by like a Polish dude. It's like it's pretty like dry. But we'll see. What else am I looking forward to? Any shows or movies? Not really. I kind of feel like I don't have cable, so I just either stream everything or torrent everything. Everything I can't get. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations. Good things. I'm so impatient. I'm trying to base coat everything right now, and I'm like waiting for the paint to dry, so I keep like wash, like wet wash everywhere, but I'm like, fuck it. So. Yeah, I'm curious if you guys have any show recommendations. I have some audiobooks I need to finish. Actually, I need to finish like halfway through the latest Siege of Terra novel. I haven't finished it though. I don't remember what it's called. How long it's been since I listened to it. The reason I stopped is because I started listening to the Dune audiobook after I watched the movie, but that started to drag too. You know, the thing about the problem with the audiobooks is the big problem. A big part of like my enjoyment comes down to the narration. So even if it's like a really good book, if it's not narrated well, or if like I don't like the voice of the narrator, it makes it really hard to like enjoy the book, you know? I don't know what do you guys feel about audiobooks, but all right, what's next? Let's get some gray on there. Vinland Saga, I'll check it out. I don't know, like, okay, I wouldn't say I'm a weeb, because I'm not like, I don't want to be Japanese, but I enjoy like weeb things. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like as far as like watching anime, and I love the like, I love anime from like a artist, like an art perspective, but I'm not like, I don't watch a ton of anime series. If that makes sense. Or like I just like the art style, and I really like you know, I love like I love Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite games, and like I love like JRPGs I really enjoy, and I love you know, I there's things I like about it, but like I don't know, from a actual like cartoon, like sitting down and watching like a series, I feel like I'm not that into it. And like sometimes I feel like I'm like people with, I don't know what it is about the anime community. I don't know. I loved Arcane. I thought Arcane was amazing, right? I like animated shows, but as like I don't like, I have to really like them, right? I think anime has to be like Japanese. I don't think Arcane really counts. But I don't know. I'm not like, see, this is the thing. I'm not an anime like purist. Like some people are like very like, they're very like into anime, and they're like anime like purists. For me, like I like cartoons, I guess. But I'm not like a purist, I guess, either. So I don't know where that leaves me, but I loved Arcane. Arcane was probably one of the best series that I've seen in a while. Well, it's probably the best animated show that I've seen ever. And I didn't know, like, you gotta understand, I don't know, I've never played League of Legends. I know very little about like League of Legends, so like I wasn't going in with like any sort of like expectation. I don't even think I realized at first that it was like, I think I knew it was League of Legends, but like I didn't know how it related to the game. I thought it was just like maybe set in the universe. I didn't even realize that the characters in it were game characters till like way later. when I like did some of my own research, I was like, oh, these are actually these are like origin stories for characters from the game. Like I just assumed it was kind of like set in the same IP, but that they're all original characters. I didn't realize they're game characters. Yeah, the animation was good, Speezy, and also like the storytelling was really good. Like I really actually connected it, like cared for the characters, and like there was stakes. Like they kill people, right? A lot of animes like they hold your like sorry, a lot of animated shows they hold your hand a lot, or like they're very like children themed, but like Arcane had very adult themes. No meat hooks. We haven't really talked about armor much on the stream. Just been painting. I would check out the Goonhammer review. They do an excellent review. I haven't even really looked at the Gene Steer book yet myself, so I'm not really sure what you're looking for. I'll definitely check it out once it comes out. If you have questions about it, I'm sure I can answer. I just let me see. Codex review. There's one. Codex review. Gene Steer cults. Yeah, check out. I would check out either Goonhammer's review or Glasshammer Gaming's review. Manny, if you want to check out the competitive stuff. I don't know enough about it to like give you too much insight, to be honest. I just hope it's easier to play than before. Anyone else have any thoughts on the Gene Steer book? You guys checked it out. I almost did a Custodes army, but I decided to do Elder instead. I don't think I'm kind of tired of painting power armor, and after doing a Space Marine and a Chaos Space Marine army, so doing more of like organic, more like totally different style. I'm enjoying so far the Elder that I painted. So. You wouldn't even want my thoughts anyways, Meat Hooks. I'm so far to the competitive scene these days that like I feel like I could give you like a very high level thoughts, but I don't know how useful my actual like opinion would be. I'm a competitive washout, so has been. Oh, okay. Based on how the models look? Yeah, check out Rob on his Wargamer. The thing is, though, the reason I love Honest Wargamer is because they're British and their humor is very it's very my style. I don't know if everyone appreciates British humor. I think they're hilarious. I think they kill me, those guys. I might actually be going to Europe once I'm yeah, I might be going to Europe at some point in the next 6 weeks. Oh, thanks for the follow, McGaw. Welcome to the channel. What I was thinking is I want to get, well, to be honest, I have a few small projects to finish here, commitments, and I want to finish all those, and then I might fuck off for a bit, because I don't know if you guys know, but I've left my job, so I've separated from my my career. I'm now a free agent. which is exciting, but I gotta figure out what I want to do next. I might start my own thing. Like I might do my own be self-employed because I think I need to. But yeah, I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm not in any rush. I'm probably gonna take oh, thanks, McGaw. Mr. Aw, sorry. Yeah. Ask questions away. There's a, I think I mentioned earlier, there's a Discord. You can ask if there's specific questions you want. Check out the YouTube channel as well. I stream on YouTube simulcast. I think there's links in the Twitch about page. Maybe I should put the Discord in there. But feel free to ask any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Gaining teeth. But yeah, I guess I want to go to Europe. So if I go to Europe, I'm gonna see if I can swing by the UK and give Rob a visit. And obviously go to Warhammer World because I've never been. And it's definitely a place I want to go. Get a smaller brush. Alright guys, I'm just trying not to talk right now because I'm trying to paint teeth, which are very small. And when I talk, my hand moves. So, I'm trying to not talk. Yep. He's got teeth. Nice. What are you going to work on first? You know? Teeth. I said teeth. I said teeth. Soft F. Alright, so that's... And now I'm going to shade all the red. So when I shade my red normally, so a few tricks with red shading, guys, is first, don't shade red with dark red. I either shade it with blue or purple with some red and some black. So you want to add some blue into your red, if that makes sense. And that actually helps give it a much more like rich tone versus if you just do like dark red, because dark red kind of can be muddy a bit. So I made like a wash here. You can see it's almost like purple. There you go. That's because it's mostly purple with a little bit of black in it and a little bit of, it's almost like a dark pink. And that's gonna help like make the reds really rich. versus if you just use like a dark red. There's not really like a dark red shade. I guess there's dark red shade, but yeah, usually you want to put some blue or some purple into your reds when you shade it. It'll help give it like nice rich colors and really pop when you contrast it. Yeah, I mean that's possible too. You can do that. Peak boss, Orbit ball. I noticed there's a distinct lack of painting, Mr. Aw, in your comments. You're like, I just built stuff. I didn't actually paint it. Are you gonna be painting any of it, or? Not to call you out, but I'm calling you out. Yeah, Agrax and Nullon like will take you very far. Agrax actually works for shading red too. I just it just makes it a bit too brown for me. But yeah, you can definitely use Agrax. Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. I just usually strip them, to be honest. You can strip them pretty easily, even plastic ones. Get some simple green. There's a few other chemicals as well. But yeah. That's why I really like metal minis though. You can basically use anything to get the paint off. Hey Jazz the hippie man, what's going on? You're just on your lunch break. What time is it there? 6 o'clock where I am, PM. Are you must be in like Australia or something. I think everywhere else is like, right? But that's the only place I can think of in the world where lunch is right now. Oh, there we go. Toowoomba. How do you say that? Toowoomba? Am I saying that right? How many people live in Australia, like the continent? Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like people, I think it's because the way we draw maps. Because like on most maps, because of like for those of you that don't know, little geography lesson. Most maps that you see, they're not accurately to scale because it's basically a round. The Earth is obviously round, and so to take that round geography and flatten it on a 2D map, you have to like skew some of the proportions of certain things to make it look right. And on most maps, the things that are farthest from the equator get skewed the most. And Australia on most maps looks quite small, but it's actually like as big as the US. Like people basically forget that, like people don't remember that like Australia is like as geographically is like bigger, is I think it's as big as the US basically, or very similar in size. But like on maps, it doesn't look that big. It looks like this like little island, or this small little island. But then like you go to Australia and it's like, oh, it takes like 20 hours to get across from one end to the other. It's not like this little people think it's like a little prison island, and it's like, you know, but it's actually like massive. There's a huge, you gotta fly across, like it's huge. Yeah. And it's very regional too, compared to just like, I think people think of Australia and they think it's like the UK, where it's like, oh, it's just like an hour's drive to your mate's house from like one end to the other. It's like, no, man, Australia is fucking like massive. It's like almost as big as Canada. Yeah, so like Canada, we have I think 33 million people, so you guys are as like desolate as us. Yeah. We're like the second largest country in the world, I think, behind Russia. And we have 33 million people. And like I think like 80% of our population, or 90% of our population, or something crazy like that. It's like 85% of our population in Canada are in like 5 cities across the border, and then like the rest is just empty. There's obviously other towns, but like they're like the top 5 or 7 cities or something like that in Canada hold like 80% of the population. Like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, like probably like Edmonton, Calgary, Regina, like the capital cities basically. It's like 3 or 4, it's like, yeah, it's like 7 or 8 cities in Canada hold 80% of the population of the entire country. And then the rest is just fucking like rocks and bush. And that's why I'm always like, what are people talking about when they're like, oh, we're gonna be overpopulated? There's so much room. Like, bring more people. I don't care. Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, it is frozen wasted moose and stuff, but that's not the point. People for some reason think that like even here, people are like, oh, we're gonna be overpopulated. I'm like, no, we're not. Like literally, like Tokyo has 30 million people and it's a city. I'm pretty sure. I think Tokyo is 30 million or something like that. Or maybe it's Mexico City, something like that. Because you guys are terrible with waste? What does that mean? Oh, trash mountains. You guys don't have see, we have like full recycling and everything here. That was actually one of the weirdest things for me when I was traveling, especially going to Florida. Holy shit, Florida. I went to Florida like 2 years ago. I was down there actually for Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and I go to this sushi place and I order like sushi, like regular sushi, like a bunch of sushi to go. And they gave it to me in like that like popcorny pilly styrofoam, the stuff that like they showed us in like environmental movies in the 80s, saying it was like filling up our landfills and destroying the ozone, that I thought like didn't exist anymore. Because in Canada, like we have very like we don't even have plastic bags in Vancouver. Like you can't get plastic bags, like you have to use paper. Plastic straws don't exist here basically. Like we have organics recycling, we have recycling, we have compost, we have cardboard. Everything is like has a special place for it, right? And like it's all bylaws. So like if you get caught throwing cardboard in your trash, you're like, you get in trouble. and you can't literally sell plastic bags in Vancouver. Like, you're not allowed to do it as a business. So going to Florida and like getting like 1990s era like styrofoam, like landfill, earth destroying plastic disposal, and then just having to throw it all away because they didn't have like recycling or like compost or like or we call it compost or organics, but basically like biodegradable stuff, or like even like any sort of recycling. It was like it was like weird to me. I was like, wait, I'm supposed to just take all this and put it into the landfill? Like, that's so fucked up. I felt guilty. I was like, what do I do with this? And same when I was in Europe too. Like, a lot of places in Europe, like especially, well, actually, that's a lie. Europe was actually pretty good. Africa, when I was in Morocco, that was like really bad. Like, literally, like you throw aluminum cans in the garbage because like, and plastic bottles. There's no recycling. There's no like compost. There's no nothing. It's crazy. The Jazz the Hippie, that's what you get for mana chasing, my friend. I never feel bad for the meta chasers when they get burnt because of like rules updates. Like all the people that like the captain of Team Canada, the WTC team, my buddy Chris. He bought, I think at the start of 8th edition, I think for the first Adepticon, he bought he had like 90 Zangor Skyfires. I think this was like right when the Thousand Suns book came out. Maybe it was in 7th edition still. But he bought 90 Zangor Skyfires to Adepticon, which are like the and then like obviously the Thousand Suns book came out, and not only were they nerfed, but they also implemented the rule of 3. So it was like the most you could ever have is 27 in an army, and they weren't even good at that, the 27. So he ended up having like to sell these fucking 90 Skyfire things forever. Yeah. I just think yeah. I feel you, my friend. It sucks whenever you get like stuff that but that's kind of the hobby, right? Like it's no different than like, you know, Magic or other hobbies where like shit gets nerfed and banned. I'm sure the people with like cards out on the ban list are pretty upset after they spend, like, it's kind of the nature of the game, right? If you're gonna play competitively. Trust me, like, even though they don't it's not like against the, sorry, even though I can still run like lots of different units in my army, there's units that I own that are like essentially soft retired because they're so bad in the game and I know I'd never use them again, right? Like that's definitely a thing where even though like you could technically run, say for instance 27 Zangor Skyfires, you never would because they're so bad. So it's like either the units are bad and you don't take them, or they're too good and they don't let you take them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm excited for the 40k Commander set to come out because I want to get into Commander. I haven't played Magic since I was a little kid. I used to play, I don't know what year this was, but when I played Magic was when Ice Age and Arabian Nights were like the main sets. I think it was like 3rd edition Magic. That was when I played Magic, like 1995 maybe, 96 I think were like the years, my Magic years. I used to have a bunch of Ice Age decks and Arabian Nights decks. I don't know how old that is, but that was like the last time I played Magic, like actually. But I have a few buddies that are into Commander, and they said they'd kind of teach me to get back into it. So, and the nice thing about Commander is I can just like buy a deck and I can kind of play. I have no interest in like collecting it as like a hobby where I'm like buying boosters and shit. wonder if anyone on the channel plays Magic. I just like I love CCGs. Like I played a few in the past. Problem with me is like I have a very addictive personality, and so anything where it's like CCG like, where I'm like constantly having to buy, I will blow like way too much money on it to get like the shiny. Yeah, he's tiny. Oh, dude, I'm stoked for the IP crossovers. That's the only thing that would get me playing Magic. I'll give you a zoom shot. There you go. Still needs a bit of cleanup, but working on him. With his eyes and stuff, but in there. Yeah, I don't care, man. It's like, here's the thing though, Nat, and like, this is like every community that exists. Like 40K is no exception to like Games Workshop. There's always grognards that like hate anything new and different, right? Like you look at all the like people that complain about like women in the hobby, or they're like, oh, I don't know. There's like all this like SJW shit in the 40K community these days. Like, I honestly just don't care, because for me, like, it's such a like non-thing. Like, I like the people that are like gatekeeping really annoy me, and then the people that are like over the top, focusing on the gatekeepers really annoy me, because I'm like, look, it's your hobby, and just tell everyone else to fuck off and just enjoy the hobby. And like, don't let other people affect your enjoyment, right? So like, I'm very much in the camp of don't let other people affect your enjoyment. So like, if someone's trying to gatekeep, tell them to fuck off. Don't go create this huge internet drama and like blah 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 and like get so twisted and bent out of shape over it. Like, yeah, we live in like, the internet is like a ruthless, mean, brutal place. So if you're gonna exist online, grow a bit of a thicker skin. And if people are being like a dick to you online, or they're being harassing you, you gotta just fucking tune them out, tell them to fuck themselves, and just have your fun and enjoy it. The gatekeepers are also assholes, right? Don't gatekeep people. Let people enjoy the hobby the way they want, right? But also, I hate people that are like, they get like, I hate the gatekeepers, and on the other side, I hate people that are so sensitive. Like one person like says something like slightly like off color to them, or slightly like, you know, gatekeepish, and they're like, oh my god, there's people, like, how am I supposed to continue with the hobby? Like, this one person on the random person on the internet said something to me. It's like, dude, like I get it, it sucks, but like, you guys also, people on the internet also need to grow a thick skin and understand, like, and just in general in life, people need to grow thicker skin. And just like, if people are trying to stop you from having fun, tell them to go fuck themselves. But don't let it like ruin your hobby, or people are like, oh, I'm quitting now because one person was mean to me and now the whole hobby's ruined, and like I can't do this and blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know, maybe I grew up in an age where like I had to deal with a lot of that growing up, like bullying and like just like harassment and stuff. But like, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes people on the internet are way too sensitive to other people on the internet, right? It's one thing if it's like a local person is like being physically intimidating and like physically getting in your face and like physically like and like personally harassing you and following you around. Like that's a whole different level. But we're not talking about that. 90% of the time with the gatekeeping, it's like some dude on the internet said like, I'm a girl and I don't like have a place in the hobby, and so now I'm not gonna play the hobby because of this one random person. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I get that it's hard for sure, but I'm not just talking about women, right? I'm talking about anyone. No, of course not. And like, here's the thing, and this is the sad truth: this hobby, and honestly, like, geeky, nerdy shit, often attracts people with, like, the reason that so many people are like simping over Henry Cavill and like so-and-so celebrity playing 40k isn't because like isn't necessarily even because he's a celebrity. It's because like they're seeing someone that like has confidence and is like cool and is like normal and like well balanced and like also enjoying the hobby. But like I think a lot of times people that are in the hobby, and this is myself included, I have my own host of like fucking mental health issues, so don't get me started on that. But I often find that like these kinds of hobbies, they attract people that are like maybe a bit more loner, like maybe not as well socially adjusted, etc., right? So when they see someone that's like successful and normal and like popular, it's like, it's really like, oh my god, guys, check out this like normal person that like likes the hobby, right? For me, I'm just like, what's the big deal? Like, I feel like I'm like, yeah, this is a great hobby for everyone. And like, I feel like a lot of people, they overhype that, I guess. They're like, oh, it's like, you know, they get so excited. I'm like, yeah, you think just because they're like a well-adjusted adult, like they don't have hobbies? I don't know. Maybe I'm like not articulating what I'm trying to say right, but I feel like sometimes people simp for like the celebrities and like the Henry Cavills of the world, more for the fact that like, or they think it's like weird that like someone that's like normal likes it, because they're all like, everyone's fucking weirdos that's in this hobby. But I'm like, they're not weirdos. Like most of my friends that are in the hobby are people that I know. They're all like very like normal people. They're not like closeted like, you know, autism, like autistic like weirdos. Not that there's anything wrong with autism, but like, or people that are autistic. But I'm just saying like they assume everyone's like just like poorly adjusted to like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm gonna shut up before I get myself more in trouble. But you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a pariah to play like shit like this, you know? And sometimes I feel like people think that you do. Yeah, I mean, I love Henry Cavill too, don't get me wrong. I sim for Henry Cavill too, right? Don't get me wrong. Well, it reminds me of all these people that are like a good example, Jazz, is like, it's like all these people, like, there's the people like, oh, there's fastest in 40k. Okay, that sucks. And like, when you see them, call them out, right? Call them out and tell them they're pieces of shit and whatever. But like, does 40k have a higher proportion of fastest, do you think, than like other hobbies or other like activities? I don't know, maybe. But like, until you show me that study, like there's probably lots of like groups or lots of like hobbies like Magic the Gathering, computer games, shooting guns, sports, that have some proportion of their group that has like problematic views. But like one person, you hear about one person like showing up at a 40k tournament with a fucking Nazi jacket, and all of a sudden it's like the whole hobby and everyone involved is like, it's like a problematic endemic issue, and like we need to like, you know, rethink everything. And it's like everyone just like needs to chill the fuck out a little bit sometimes and not be so like, I guess, I don't know, alarmist. It's like, as those individuals show up, tell them to fuck off and like move on and like ignore them and like just like don't get so bent out of shape about it and like turn into like your life is ruined because someone that shares an activity that you also do has like a problematic view, you know? That's gonna happen a lot more in your life. Anyways, that's my rant. I don't even know how it started. I mean, we went down that path, but there you go. That's also true, Speezy. And that's like me not being apologizing for fastest at all, but like sometimes I feel like people throw around, especially given how like polarizing the like political world is these days, like people throw around things like fascist, communist, Marxist, and they don't even know, like, just like willy-nilly, and they don't even really know what the terms mean half the time. It's just like a cool thing to do. Yeah, exactly. You pay one Hitler. It's like, sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, we've all, I mean, I definitely made my fair share of like off-color jokes in my days. That doesn't mean I'm like a, you know, a racist. Because you make like one like bad joke, racial joke. I actually dressed up, if you can believe it. I'm from Iran, axis of evil, as per George W. Bush, and like my heritage is Iranian. And I remember for Halloween in grade 11, which was I think the year after 9/11. So 9/11 was in 2011. So I think I was in grade 11. So maybe in grade 12 for Halloween, I went for Halloween as an ISIS terrorist bomber, suicide bomber, dressed up like literally looked like I was like 15 or 16 at the time, so I didn't have a beard, so I literally painted on a beard, and I had like a turban and like super ridiculous, like I was like full on, like I was like full into it, right? And like if I did that today, it would be like I would get canceled so quick, but at the time it was fucking hilarious because I was axis of evil, right? Like I'm an Iranian citizen or person, so for me, like yeah, at the time I was like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious, right? And everyone thought it was great. Now, but like if I did that, I remember not dressing up. I remember going to cowboy Indian parties in college. I don't know if you guys ever had those when you were younger. And at the time, I never thought about it. But like, I remember going in college, my first year university, going to a Cowboys and Indians party, and half the people dressed up literally as Indians with like brown face and fucking, what are those, the feather things called? Not mohawks. Yeah, they had like feathers and like full on like culture appropriated, and then the other half were Indians. Like that was the party theme, right? If someone, yeah, headdresses and stuff. If someone did that today, it would be like all over the news. It'd be crazy. And like no one that went to that party, I think, was thinking like, oh, we're being racist. But like that was just like, and looking back, yeah, it's in bad taste. I can for sure say that. I think I went as a cowboy in my defense. Not that it makes it any better. But like something like that today, oh god, man, that would be the end. See you later. I can't imagine something like that in this day and age. I've never gone as blackface though. I definitely, oh yeah, another thing. Yeah, just, you guys can record this stuff for when I'm famous later and you gotta cancel me. I remember one year in my job when I first started cooking, so when I was like 20, I worked at a restaurant, and for Cinco de Mayo, we were doing like a taco stand outside of our, we were doing a taco stand outside of the restaurant where like me and 3 of the chefs were going to serve tacos, and they literally told us to dress up it like Mexicans. So we like literally dressed up in ponchos and sombreros and served tacos in front of the restaurant with fake Mexican mustaches, like 3 of us for work. That was, and like people were like, they thought it was hilarious. They loved it. Like if I did that today, oh God, it would be game over. Like, and I mean, we had fun with it, but like none of us thought like, oh, like I love Mexicans. I love Mexico. It's like one of my favorite places. And like the people are some of my favorite people. My best friends are Mexican. And like, I would never in that moment thought that like I was being racist. I thought I would be like, it was a fun thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think sometimes people need to like, context is really important when it comes to certain things. But yeah, anyways, that was the Cinco de Mayo for the ages. Buckets of Corona, $12 $10 buckets of Corona, like $2 tacos. Oh yeah, we had a time. Yeah, definitely canceled for sure. I mean, for sure today I would get canceled, and that's probably like, yeah, and I mean probably deserve it, but it was a different world back then, my friends. Got it. You didn't know what was in my heart though. Only love and excitement for Mexico and the Mexican people. I'm pretty sure Cinco de Mayo is not even a thing in Mexico. Like in North America, it's kind of like St. Patrick's Day, which like I don't actually think they celebrate in Ireland. But like Cinco de Mayo is not like a thing in Mexico. It's like a North American thing. Invention to just like drink basically and eat tacos. Now like, so like a perfect example of how far it's come. Now even if we did like a special for Cinco de Mayo, like we're gonna do cheap Corona for Cinco de Mayo, I feel like that is like now like inappropriate. Even mention it, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't even do something for the day. Or like the only thing you could do is like raise money to donate to like lost Mexican street kids in lieu of like the actual Cinco de Mayo. Like that would be appropriate. But anything besides that, like you'd get canceled. Yeah, the world moves fast, my friend. It is kind of crazy. But that's okay. I don't need those things in my life, you know? They're not that important to me. And like if I don't do anything for Cinco de Mayo, I'm not like upset. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing. If only Games Workshop would move into the internet age, that would be nice. Have digital codexes maybe finally. I won't hold my breath. Yeah. Those are the days, guys. Or were they, you know? Like, if I say those are the days, people think I want to go back to, like, racist days. Those were the days when I could be openly racist and culturally insensitive. I remember, like, you know, a good example of this. I remember reading an article, and I'm a chef, so I do recipe development, right? Which means like, well, I am a chef still, and I kind of still do recipe development. But I remember reading an article, and we have a restaurant in Portland, Oregon. And for those of you that don't know, that aren't from the U.S., Portland is like one of the most like supposed to be like one of the most progressive, like left-leaning states in the U.S. Like they have a very like big like vegan community, very big like social justice movement. They're very like woke in a lot of ways. And I remember when I was down there, this was actually like, or maybe it was just about a year ago. I remember reading an article in Eater, which is like their food magazine or whatever, that this guy had gone to like Mexico. I can't remember if it was, I think, yeah. So there's two women that had gone to Mexico and like lived there for like 5 years, and then met this like Mexican family and like learned how to cook from them. And they discovered this like type of like I can't remember, it was like an empanada or something like that. And they were like, these empanadas are so amazing. So when they moved back to Portland, they were like, oh, we're gonna start a food cart and make these empanadas. And yeah, it was like tortillas or something. I can't remember what it was. And then there was like all this like rage. They were like, oh, these people like they're like culturally appropriated these recipes, and like they're like these two white people are like stealing Mexican cuisine. And I don't remember what it was. It was like some recipe, and I was like, are you fucking joking me? Look, I'm a chef. I write sushi recipes in our restaurants. I write taco recipes in our restaurants. I write pasta recipes in our restaurants. I write curry recipes for restaurants. I'm not Indian. I'm not Mexican. I'm not Japanese, right? I'm not Italian. But I still write and serve recipes and foods from those places in our restaurants. Like, that's literally what I do for a living. But if someone turned around and said, how dare you serve sushi at your restaurants? You're not Japanese. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you mental? Like, it's food. It's not like I'm stealing like Japanese, like, you know, it's not like I went and like killed a grandma and stole her cookbook and now I'm selling her recipes. Yeah, the ladies ended up sounding like idiots, but it's not the point, right? I'm glad someone else remembers this story. I just remember reading it and I was like, I can't believe this is a story, first of all. But like the people were like outraged. People in Portland, man, I'm telling you. They were not happy with these ladies. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. Like I've been on the other side of that. When I about 7 years ago, I just left my job as a head chef of a big restaurant group here, and I remember looking for jobs. I was like, I don't know what I wanted to do, but I want to do something different. And I remember applying. Actually, there was this like Japanese restaurant, and they were like hiring like a sushi chef, and I was like, oh, like I know how to make sushi. Like I've been making sushi since I was 20, both as a work thing, but also like at home. I make sushi all the time. Like I actually have I can roll really well. I can do a buri sushi. I can do oshi, which is like pressed sushi. Like I know how to make cones, all that stuff. I know how to do that. Like my sushi skills are actually quite good. And I was like, oh, I'll go work in this. I'll apply for this like sushi chef job. Maybe it'll help me like improve some of my sushi skills. I'd love to like get better at making my sushi rice, because I know like people in Japan, like they spend years studying how to make sushi rice. And they like laughed at me, the Japanese restaurant. They're like, you're not Japanese, like you can't come work here. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like I'm probably better at making sushi than like half your fucking cooks. And they were like, no, like basically like you're not Japanese, like you can't come cook here. And I was like, what the fuck? That's so stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And a lot of times when you go to these like ethnic restaurants, like there's some sushi restaurants near my house. Some of my favorite sushi restaurants, Minami and Miku in Vancouver. You look at their kitchens, because they're open concept kitchens. There's not a single non-Japanese person or non-Asian looking person. I don't know if they're all Japanese. Maybe some of them are fucking from Korea or something. Who knows? But like, it doesn't look like there's a single white person there. It's all just are like non-white person, non-Asian descent. Everyone looks like they could be Japanese, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right to me. Like you can't pretend to me that not a single like white person
wanted to work at this restaurant and just didn't get hired. Well, I wouldn't say they're necessarily racist, but I've heard that they're very protectionist and isolationist on their culture. The reason I don't say racist specifically is because I follow, I guess maybe I am a weeb after all. I was like, at the start of the stream, I'm like, I'm not a weeb, guys, but I'm like, I follow 3 or 4 channels of people that live in Japan, so maybe I am a weeb in the end. But I follow a few channels that are like white people in Japan, like abroad in Japan, if you ever heard of it, or like I follow one called it's like Charmeleon. There's like YouTubers that live in Japan. They're like English speaking, and they blog and post about their lives living in Japan. Yeah, I'm such a weeb. And one of the things that they mention, and this is why I say like maybe they're not racist, is like often Japanese people don't want to date other Japanese people. So a lot of Japanese people they don't like to date Japanese people because everyone that's Japanese is like weird to them, or they like to date out of their culture. But from a government standpoint, the country is very closed off, and they're very they're very hostile to foreigners. But I don't think it's in a racist way personally. I think it's more in a way of like they're very protective of their culture, and they're very worried about like their culture being like watered down, or like, you know, and like I'll give you an example. I watched a video and it was like 10 things, like it was from one of these YouTubers. It was like 10 things that like white people or like people should know about living in Japan, or like 20 things you should know about living in Japan. And like there's a lot of like really intense rules, like social rules in Japan that like you would be like, that's ridiculous. In like jaywalking, for instance, is like a big no-no there. Taking off your shoes, for instance, like you literally, every Japanese house has like a special spot just for your shoes, and like walking in the house with shoes is like fucking, you might as well have killed their cat. And I think part of the reason that Japanese people are protective or kind of hostile to foreigners is because they think like we're dirt. Like a lot of like us are like, we won't respect we won't respect their culture. And I can see that, right? Sorry, the supermarket donor? Wait, what do you mean supermarket donor? She got her baby sperm donor? I was like, what the fuck's a supermarket donor? So he lied to say that he wasn't Japanese, or he actually was Japanese? Like she wanted a white like a mixed race, or the guy said he wasn't Japanese and he was Japanese? Well, it's not quite clear. Anyways, I don't personally think Japanese people are racist. I just think they have a very very strong cultural and I'd say like valid fears that like their culture is going to be like overrun with a bunch of like uncouth like North American people, and like rude and like disgusting people. And don't get me wrong, guys, North Americans are rude and disgusting. Okay. How do you tell that though? Like, okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. How do you tell that genetically? Like I could see that like if you looked at someone, you might be able to place them, but are there certain genetic markers that like you could look at in someone's, because race isn't a genetic thing, right? Like it's obviously race isn't, I don't know how race is expressed, or if it's even expressed in any way genetically where you could tell from someone's DNA test their race. I guess they have ancestry and shit, but like how accurate is that, right? Like, can you look at someone's DNA and tell they're fucking Chinese? That seems weird to me. I didn't think you could. I thought the DNA would maybe tell you about like certain features, and maybe they use that to like cross-reference to like existing known. I don't know exactly how it works, but I'd be curious, like, given the Japanese and Chinese actually share like a common ancestry, I'd be really interested to see how different a Japanese and Chinese person's like DNA whatever is, and if there's like a way you can even tell. Yeah, I've been exposed as a weeb guy. I love anime and I love Japanese girls. I mean, I love Japanese girls, don't get me wrong. Although I just broke up with a Chinese girl, so I think I have yellow fever though, because three of my last 5 girlfriends have been like Asian. So maybe I do have yellow fever, guys. Maybe I am a weeb. So okay, dating life. So it's like it's not happening right now because I don't want it to happen. I'm very happy being single and like by myself. There's a girl, as I was just mentioning, there's a girl that I was seeing for about 3 or 4 months over holidays. I kind of broke it off with her right around New Year's, before New Year's, because it was just like it wasn't working out because she was just too she had some mental health issues, and like I felt like I was suffering. Like, I don't mind if you have mental health issues. No, I'm not ashamed of my yellow fever. But to be fair, I have white fever, I have brown fever, I just love girls. So I have all colors of fever. But I broke up with this girl because she had mental health issues. I think she had multiple personalities even. And I felt like if you have mental health issues, that's fine. And like, if I love you and like I want to marry you, there's a certain level of that I will put up with. But like, if we're just starting to date and I'm suffering at the hands, like I'm seriously like getting like frustrated and being the victim of your mental health issues, I'm sorry, like that's not my fault, but that's not going to work out. Like, and if you're not like amazing enough for me to like stick with you and like support you through that. But if you're just like, if you get super nasty and like, and this is what happened, like she would get super like, she would turn like that, like she'd be like super like submissive, but then she'd have this like whole schizophrenic thing, and she'd be like psychotic, like mean. And I was like, yo, like where the fuck is that coming from? Anyways, it just turned out that like, and it felt very one-sided because like I felt like I was like financially supporting her in a lot of ways, and like I was always like paying for everything, and I just was like, honestly, I don't like, she was good looking and like she was fun to be around, but I need someone that's like intellectually on my level and also like financially on my level and like professionally on my level to like date longer than 3 months. So it was a good like fling. It was good, like in Vancouver we call it cuffing season. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but in the winter people often like get into very short-term relationships here to like have someone to take them through the winter. I don't know if that's like a common term across other places, but it's called cuffing season. And basically it means like, oh, you find like it's like the opposite of a summer fling, right? It's like a winter fling, and it's someone to like get you through like the cold, wet winters, someone to like cuddle with and like do like indoor activities with. But then like it's just kind of like a winter thing, and then after winter you kind of, you get rid of them so that you can have a fun summer, right? A fun summer of singleness. So that was kind of like the situation, I guess. And also like I was going into New Year's and I was just like, I need to like have a fresh start here. I don't want to be dealing with this crazy person, literally crazy person, over the winter. So yeah, that's kind of my dating situation. Thanks for asking. Never. Yeah, I honestly didn't even hear about it. Like, I knew of the phenomenon because I definitely was guilty of it. I didn't know it actually had a name till like last year. I wonder if it's like a... Does anyone else... Yeah, and that's the other thing, Jazz. I have a lot of shit to work on. And I'm like, as much as I can be like kind of a little bit outgoing on stream and stuff, I'm miserable a lot of times. I have like drinking and addiction issues. I have... I have like, I'm a very introverted. I like to be alone. I can be very antisocial, and I'm very selfish, to be honest. And none of that stuff is like stuff that I want to bring into a relationship. And like also too, like I enjoy my freedom, and like that's why I say when I say I'm selfish, it's okay. It's not anything that I'm like ashamed of. It's like conscious choices that I've made. But like I don't feel like I want to be in a relationship where someone's gonna like hold me back. And it's hard to find people that are like a good complement to you, rather than like dependent on you, right? I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm very independent, and I often find that I end up in relationships where people become codependent on me, and I'm still yet to find a girl that like doesn't end up being codependent. And like that really bothers me because I'm very like, I would, like I'm very like free, and like I like to do things by myself. I like to do things with my friends without like a girl or a girlfriend. And if a lot of girls don't get that, like they always have to be like involved with everything, right? Like they want to be like in every part of your life. And for me, I'm very much like I don't know, a free spirit. I don't even know if I'll ever get married, man. The way it's going, it's not looking good. But we'll see. I'm still very young. Well, I'm not that young anymore, but you know, I haven't given up on love, you know. But I'm not worried about it. If it comes, it comes. It's not something that I like put too much time into. Plus, honestly, like the last time I like was in a serious relationship last year, the girl fucking destroyed me. She broke my heart into a million pieces, and I don't want to go through that again, man. It sucks. It really fucking sucks, and I'm not ready for like I'm not ready to go through potentially like having my heart broken again, and yeah, so I'd prefer to just kind of keep people at arm's length, and kind of casual. So that's my dating life, I guess. I don't think I'm ever gonna have kids either. Like that's not really my jam. I dated a girl last year with 2 kids, and I don't know if I could ever do it again. Nothing wrong with like kids, but it's hard for me to feel like I'm like you'll never be the. Yeah, I don't know. Makes it really hard sometimes because it's like I don't know, kids just like weird me out. Maybe that makes me a weird person. I've never been someone that likes kids. I don't know about you guys, but anyways, there's all my deep dark secrets. If you're enjoying. What's neurodiversity? Sorry, I don't know what that is. Is that like a condition of some kind or a hereditary thing? Well, I assume it's hereditary if you're going to pass it on. I've never heard of the term neurodiversity. I mean, I know what neuro means and I know what diversity means, but I've never heard them together. So, sounds actually good to have neurodiversity. Like, you got a very diverse neuro brain. I don't think that's probably what it means, but it sounds like you want diversity. Diversity's good. Isn't diversity good? Isn't that what they say? You need more diversity? I don't know why this. I'm like, I don't know why this Macari's taking me so long. It's just such a small model. Like, yeah, it's because I've been fucking talking nonstop. Neutral trait. What do you mean neutral trait? Yeah, diversity is strength. Isn't diversity good? I'll look it up later. You don't have to give me an explanation. All right, what are we gonna do next here?
White.
Oh, it's all good, man. All right. I don't know about you guys use wet palettes. I feel like I'm very like small in my wet palette. So like look at my wet palette right now. I see people's wet palettes online and it's like they have like giant pools of color across the whole thing, like super dried out. For me, like this is always how my wet palette looks. It's just like I've never met any woman that meets your description, Speezy. Like I've seen them and I know they exist because they're on the internet, but I've never seen one of those. I've never met one of those people online that it wasn't already married, and that's how they got in the hobby through their husband. I think your best bet is to meet a girl first and get her into the hobby. I think that's you have a much better chance of doing that than the other way around. So find a girl that has like tendencies that could potentially get her interested. Like I had the very first Asian girlfriend that I ever had when I was like 20. I got her into painting and she actually really enjoyed it. She enjoyed painting models. And then also I've had a few other girlfriends that are kind of into like slightly nerdy stuff, or like at least open to like video games and stuff. So that's your bet. I think that's your better bet, is to find someone like that and then get them into the hobby. Then I always hear about women that get in the hobby through their husbands or their boyfriends. So I think that's a much better chance than you finding one that's already in it that also doesn't look like a bridge troll, that's single, that will like you, right? Those four. Is that do you talk dirty lore to her in the bedroom? You reenact the Horus Heresy, the Siege of Terra. Yeah, that's right. Exactly what I was saying. Excuse me. I mean, look, I'm no Casanova here, but from my estimation, it's probably a lot easier to find a girl that likes you first, because that's probably the easiest thing. And then convince her to like 40k than to find a 40k girl who are like, because there's much more girls that will like you than 40k girls that you will like. So find a girl and then convert her. Get her in with something like soft, you know. That's a good question, Jazz. I just use my airbrush for like all sorts of things. I think the biggest thing with the airbrush is to understand that like it's a tool just like anything else, and like there's never any case where you just want to use it. So like for me, I do a lot of base coating with it, and then also I'll do things like blending and stuff on a model. And the problem with the airbrush is like the model has to support you using it. Like a model like this Macari, I couldn't really airbrush it because maybe I could just airbrush the skin a little bit, but like I don't think it's too small of a model, right? I would check out, if you really want to get like good at airbrushing, check out, and I think it's called Angel Geraldez or whatever. He's got a YouTube channel and he's like an airbrush master, and he combines a lot of airbrush and brush techniques on a single model. So I'd go watch some of his videos, and it'll probably give you some good insight into like how to combine both airbrush and brush, and then also his technique actually is like very like airbrush. It's like he has a very interesting technique where he like airbrushes, then paints, then goes back and airbrushes over stuff that he's painted with brush, and it gives the models like a really nice kind of like almost like a CGI effect. But it's definitely like you need a lot of control with your airbrush, otherwise you can obviously very easily ruin your model. But he combines a lot of like airbrush and brush techniques on models in his videos, so I would go check that out. Angel Giraldes, G-I-R. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of him. Yeah, I think I'll put in the YouTube channel in my chat. He's like a award-winning Golden Demon Super Masterclass painter. Like way better than anything I could ever do. That's the website. Oh, website. Fiber gummies. What did I just copy? That's the website, and then if you check out YouTube. Oh, there we go. He's got 90,000 subscribers. That's his YouTube channel. So check out. He does a lot of like combination airbrush, and there's actually an airbrush series on there. He's Spanish, so I think most of the stuff is subtitled. He doesn't speak English. He's like a Spanish painter. And the Spanish painters are like, the Spanish and French painters are like unbelievable. But he's got an airbrush series on there, number 1 to 3, airbrush for beginners, masking, all sorts of other stuff. Check that out. And then there's like a lot of different really good paint content there. Yeah, honestly, the thing about painting though is like, you don't really need to like, you just read it, right? Yeah, exactly. He's like a very high-end Spanish painter. But he's like, his models are incredible. But he has a very like mixed technique, I guess is best. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch his videos. But it's very much like a combo of brush and airbrush, and maybe it'll give you some insight into like a better place to use. Should I use it? All right, what am I gonna do next? All right. I think we're gonna call it there, guys. Didn't quite get done because I was blabbing too much, but almost done. I think this will probably be another hour of painting. I just focus and not stream, but obviously when I talk too much, I end up getting distracted. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. No more streaming for the rest of the week. I will be back next week. I think probably 3 or 4 days of paint streaming and then 1 day of gaming streaming. I know none of you guys care about my gaming streaming because like no one watches it, but that's okay. I'm doing Savage rating in Final Fantasy 14 with my group. If you guys are interested, Wednesday will be rating day with my group, and other than that, I will be back Monday to Friday next week. Also, just make sure to give me a follow, guys. I'm gonna be trying to get up to 600 followers. That's 18 followers I need before the end of the month. That's my goal. So if you know anyone on Twitch, if you want to make 18 sock puppet accounts and get me some follows, I'll take that too. Well, actually, don't do that. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for all that great conversation, guys. I had fun tonight. I was glad to tell you guys lots of stories about my love life. As I said again, if you guys want to join the Discord, you can find me there, and I'll post lots of info and stuff there. So feel free to join in there. And yeah, leave comments below if you guys like the content, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna go eat some dinner.